The agreement includes more money to help Californians pay their rent and utility bills. The announcement of the deal indicates Newsom's proposal to send $400 payments to vehicle owners is dead. Newsom has initially made the proposal to provide targeted relief from high gas prices that his administration said could be sent to Californians more quickly than payments to tax filers. But he said to get lawmakers to sign on to the idea. But he failed to get lawmakers to sign on to the idea. Newsom and other lawmakers called their agreement a framework for the 2023 and 2022 budget, meaning they will continue to work out the details on other aspects of the spending plan over the coming weeks. The budget will be the state's biggest ever, encompassing a record of $300 billion in spending, and citing the challenges of raising a family, particularly in the midst of the crisis and record inflation. Mitt Romney has introduced a plan to provide monthly payouts to working families with young children. Under this newly proposed Family Security Act 2.0, financial aid will be directly tied to the number and ages of a family's children, with $350 for each young child per month and $250 for each school-age child. The revised plan would also provide a $700 monthly sum to people expecting, and families will be eligible to apply for assistance 4 months before a child's due date. And according to the release from the Senator's office, the proposal will provide families with increased transparency on how much money to expect from the federal government and allowing them to receive the funds more quickly. The Family Security Act 2.0 will limit the amount of money given to families who do not meet a $10,000 earning threshold the year prior, reducing the financial aid proportionally to the amount earned, while curtailing the amount given to families that earn above the child tax credit income phase-out thresholds, which currently sit at around $200,000 for single filers. Folks, we have a ton of good news about the fourth stimulus check. And by the way, what do you think about President Biden and his work on this?
And causing prices to go up. And then once there were insolvencies and IPOs really fell off, we got into the dot-com bubble. Now, things that survived from this are actually companies that we're all really used to today, which is Amazon, Qualcomm, Microsoft is of note, and even Apple. So what's really important about taking a lesson from the dot-com bubble is everything fell in this type of scenario. There was a lot of influx saturating the market, and there was a lot of difficulties finding valuation within those securities because it was a disruptor. It's innovation to technology. So that's the takeaway from this, is things that survived the dot-com bubble had a clear product roadmap, had a clear set to innovation or to positive revenues, and that allowed them to be positive and come out of it.
All right, so
really well.
That seems like a pretty clear roadmap of where you should go with your cryptocurrency investing. But obviously, cryptocurrency is just a bit of a different industry. So when we're looking at coins to invest in, if you're an investor, what is the equivalent when it comes to cryptocurrency to what you were just saying about an Apple, a Qualcomm, or an Amazon?
Yeah, so if you take a look at the chart of Bitcoin, and then you can see all of the cryptos on a yearly basis that have come into the market. It starts with very little, and now we're up to 20,000. And what's really interesting is Bitcoin started with about 90% of market share, and it's at 43% now. So anything with a large market cap and clear management and understanding the roadmaps that are there, it's difficult to assess valuation just like it was in the dot-com bubble. However, market cap and dominance in an industry can certainly give us an insight. And additionally, what was needed in the dot-com bubble was regulation. So things like the collapse of Luna sets the path forward for regulation. And once that comes out, then that increases investor confidence, in which case we'll see an increase of demand instead of that saturated supply that we have now, which would then send the security up. But there's some steps that have to happen to
around the America Competes Act. Another extraordinarily important piece of legislation that the House Democratic majority is going to pass this week. The America Competes Act will invest in the creation of millions of good-paying jobs all across America. It will invest in research and development, invest in our national security interests, invest in making sure America can continue to lead the technology and innovation economy. And at the same time, it will deal with some of the inflationary dynamics that we are endeavoring to confront on behalf of the American people. Once again, when we pass the America Competes Act,